Magnetize, Starstorm, in addition to the Tinker missile spam. And Drowmate have a lot of damage from her passive, and a lot of defensive capabilities too. However, Tinker is able to just stay out of Drow's range, spam missiles. And if Rajix and LeBron coordinate well, they can just close in on the Hak, on the Drow ranger, and completely annihilate him when his aura is down. I mean, you gotta time it well here. Drow range is definitely dangerous, and if Drow is able to get away back to a good distance,
10 seconds remaining.
Suddenly things
5
are going to get kind of nasty. Before we load in here, one quick ad for sponsor expert.co, and then we got ourselves a game. Let's see how it's going to go. I hope it's going to be a good finals, because China was kind of anticlimactic this morning. Simple 2-0 wipe. Although Newbie Young did put on a good show, they haven't quite managed to take a single game from Sun Gaming. So let's hope this is going to be different. Let's load in. And we're in, but we gotta pause immediately. That is kinda annoying. Let me get my new over. There we go. So we've got a bit of a pause. Disconnect definitely kinda annoying, but nothing really you can do about it. And while we're waiting, might as well look at a couple of FUG, if there are any well ones. We got Blackhold from Always Wanna Fly. Pretty sure he's been using that thing for quite a while. Classic Enigma, no loadout, no nothing. Let's see, do we have anything else going on? Well, Double Dimension got some fancy FUGs at least. I now pronounce you man and tree. From LeBron. LeBron, the king of trash talk. He is seriously one of the people who actually has fun in Dota. And I know that sounds like something every pro player says about themselves. However, he is actually the type of guy where he doesn't care if it's a win or a loss, as long as he's had a good game. He definitely enjoys himself and doesn't always take everything too seriously, which just makes things more fun when you see him play. Jesus. Unra Jigs. I think a Deus Volt meme would have. And it looks like this is going to be some awkwardly long pause time. I gotta do my admin duty. I hate that I have to remind players of pause time and stuff, but somebody's gotta do it, and if I'm streaming it anyways, might as well go for it. Still makes me feel like the bad guy. But there's plenty of pause time left, so I think we should just get a reconnect. Let's just go ahead, look at a couple of loadouts here, because why the hell not? Drow with the whole Eye of Skadi themed one. I prefer the Shadowcat personally, but for Drow there's a lot of good loadouts, and I get why. You know, people like to express their taste. Although I just go by fanciness of animations and fanciness of the loadout itself. The Disruptor one is kinda cool. This is a standard one, but still pretty swell loadout here, and let's see, Double Dimension, they gotta get some fancy stuff going on. Rana. This kitty looks fierce as hell. Doesn't really look huggable, but still fierce as hell. Nothing fancy here. Well, Earth Spirit's kind, but I would have really hoped that we had a couple of cooler loadouts. We got one epic courier though, the Boxhound, who leaves behind random coins. One of the cooler effects in Dota. He was the very first courier to get an effect too, and he was worth like a couple $100. I'm not sure how overpriced it is now, or how not overpriced, but it used to be the courier version of the Alpine Ravager when it comes to spending a lot of money on useless cosmetic items. On the other end, we just got the little baby red panda, which makes absolutely no sense lore-wise, but cute little mini guy. I simply do hope that Double Dimension are going to get their stuff together, since pause time is running out eventually for them. I don't mind killing time here, but this is a best of 5, so we might as well go super late. Might as well be up all night playing Dota. I mean, sometimes when it's a best of 3, which starts at the same time as this game, we are already going to like 10 PM, so as a best of 5, every game is played and every game goes long, we could very well be up till 4 AM or something ridiculous like that, especially with a pause here. Then again, it might just be a 2-0 sweep. Gambit's draft in this first game definitely looks very solid, very strong. Keeping the Drow Ranger safe is going to be a bit of an issue, but if they do manage to somehow do that, if they do manage to somehow intercept every single time Drow Rangers run at, this is going to be a good game for Team Gambit here. I mean, you got a Sand King, you got a Disruptor and a Puck. 3 heroes with a lot of crowd control who can just throw themselves in front of the Drow Ranger every time people are going to go for her. Especially Sand King with the Burrow Strike, really good at doing that kind of suicidal plays. Okay, coming. That was some good timing. I'm just glad they got it fixed. This would have been really awkward if we had full disconnect here. I think we could have remade since nothing had been played yet, but I'm still really happy that we get this game going off. Double Dimension, I wonder how they're going to try and play this. They got a lot of teamfight potential, they got a lot of damage to be done. However, there is no bigger source of damage if you go by single hero than a Drow Ranger, other than maybe a completely overfed Legion or Silencer or Pudge. But those have too big of a condition to actually come online to be a reason be reasonable. So this draw aura going to make this game very interesting, especially because otherwise Double Dimension probably would have been able to just completely annihilate those team fights, go in, magnetize out, spam a couple of rockets,
30 seconds
have me run a Starstorm everyone down, and then finish them off by right-clicking them down. And I mean, one of the issues with Double Dimension's draft, despite seeming so very damn powerful, is that they essentially don't really have a lot of single target damage which they can use to finish people off. Beastmaster got some, but usually not a lot without the roar, so in a team fight where he wants to use the roar to interrupt the BKB, that kind of thing, he's not going to be able to deal any single target damage. And although Tinker might, I mean, depending on Tinker's build, Tinker might just be the source of single target damage as well. Just getting himself a Dagon or something, and then making sure that all of those low health people, because there's going to be a lot of low health heroes here. However, the question is, can they actually finish them off? Can they actually kill off the Drow Ranger? Since if a Drow Ranger walks out with like 10 HP, okay, Drow's out of the fight. Her aura isn't though. So you really gotta consider a lot here. Shock getting ran at, but with Mata coming in, this brawl on the mid lane might actually end up favoring Double Dimension. The mid lane Nature's Prophet, however, still one of the better mid laners if you can play him well in the mid lane. And a lot of people fail to see that. A lot of people fail to see how strong Nature's Prophet can be as a core on the mid lane. Trust me, if you try it in your pubs, you're probably going to get reported unless you're above what used to be 6 or 7k MMR. But the thing is, on the mid lane you can actually do more work with your little trees. On the off lane there's always going to be people able to just right click down those little trees of yours, pushing out the lane quite a bit with them as well, so not exactly what you want to do. Whereas in the mid lane, getting harassing and keeping the lane under control is way more important. In addition to that, you got one free teleport, so going back to heal and coming back into the lane is going to be quite easy. It's going to not really take a lot of time.
Haste.
I like the way that Gambit are running this. Double Dimension, they got to set up for a couple of ganks here if they do wanna, and talk about a couple of ganks being set up. That's gonna be one on Always Wanna Fly, trying to get himself out of there, but too little too late. First Strike is going to get a return kill though. At least one. Mata getting red as well. The Drow Ranger damage is pretty significant already. That's a double kill for the Hawk.
To you, my loyalty.
Double Dimension trying to go in aggro. The Hawk on the Drow Ranger, however, doesn't give a damn. And I mean, Drow, it's a very hard hero to gank. Especially later on when Gus is available. Let's see, how far is the knockback? So apparently the maximum knockback is 350 units. That's actually really not bad. If you combine Gust plus a Hurricane Pike, you can go for some really big plays.
Come.
Undershock doing a good job last hitting against Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet is a pain to keep your lane against, especially for heroes like Tinker, who kinda rely on just bullying their lane partners. There is a bunch of mid lanes like Dragon Knight who can just completely ignore those little trees, who really don't get bothered by them. But most of those heroes are melee heroes with a decent amount of tankiness. Mid lane Bloodseek is also pretty good against Nature's Prophet.
Warriors of the wolf.
Undershock going to get ganked. They have the damage to finish the job, so looks like they do. Down goes the Tinker. Mata going to get poked, and look at that. Look at all that damage coming from those little trees. They're not to be underestimated. Nature's Prophet now up to 1.2 gold. 1.2k I mean, but that's a very good standard. Now you can actually go for a couple of expensive items early on if you want to consider a Midas build or something. Red Jig's on the top lane, goes down, and it looks like Gambit. They're going to dominate this laning stage with the draw aura at the disposal. Mata gets exploded there. Bignum is probably dead in exchange for this. Cat. Okay, he's got a solve. Arrow of the mark. So Gambit, they don't even get punished for this tier of aggression. I mean, with the Drow Ranger aura, you got an inherent advantage when it comes to man fighting. Same for the Nature's Prophet mid lane when it comes to the Treants. The Double Dimension, they seem kinda caught off guard. They actually kinda do feel like a deer caught in the headlights, not knowing what to do. Maybe they have a really good plan and are just waiting, or just trying to stall. But it does look like Double Dimension just getting torn apart. The Ezra Jigs goes down again.
What ingratitude!
We now got an ownage in favor of Gambit with 2k gold lead.
Set in stone. Twice struck.
LeBron's gonna be fine. And honestly, I think in this situation, LeBron is probably going to be the only player who's... Well, I actually don't know how tilty Double Dimension are. I definitely know that LeBron isn't really taking this too hard, though. But the pressure is going to recede. Drow's aura granting more and more damage. With the Drow getting level 6. Flow going to suffer here. Nature's Prophet ultimate coming in too. And Flow, he will get caught. The Hug just going up close and personal too. Losing a bit of that fancy agility, but it's not like Beastmaster has any chance of winning the fight. If we look at the last total now, it's pretty much what you'd expect, except for Flow being a slight bit better than your average Beastmaster.
Who spoiled that shot?
So Nature's Prophet and Drow Ranger, both just free farming, both just dominating their lanes. That's gonna become quite a big issue going out of this laning stage soon, since there is now a 3k gold peak on the side of the... And yet another one goes down. Cheshire Cat might go down for this. Dodges the roll, and now his orb available. Nature's Prophet coming in too. Might end up regretting that decision. Well, that's a return kill, and a pretty good one at that. Shadow Demon even getting the added bonus of an Illu of the Nature's Prophet to just go ahead, jungle a whip, or poke people away, whatever he wants. And Double Dimension, I wonder how they're going to try and catapult themselves back into this game, but if they do manage to somehow, then it would be really huge. Also, do Drow Illus give the Precision Aura? I don't think they do. But then again, I haven't seen a Drow Illu in a game on the team of Drow. At least in a very long while. Puck is going to go down next. Bignum doing his best to get away, but there's an awful lot of people running at him. Double Dimension rotating in one more hero than their opponent, and really pressing that advantage.
Middle tower is under attack.
Whereas Team Gambit, They just had a really good lead. Now a lot of that is lost. Which means they probably just want to get back up there. Make sure the Drow Aura is going to give them value. And look at that damage being put on Beastmaster. Beauty as Iceberg can always come in. So if there is a Puck or a Drow Ranger, one of the two heroes who has a lot of right click damage, that Jix, can he get away somehow here? Nope.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bot tier 1 tower went down, now bottom tier 2 tower.
Dire's bottom tower is
Getting
under
the siege
attack.
already. Nature's Prophet, he can push so hard with Drow Aura. It's really ridiculous what that guy can do.
Dire's top tower is under
I don't think
attack.
Gambit are really going to commit to the full pushing Nature's Prophet build. I think they're going to get him a couple of utility and fight items. And I mean, with a Drow, you don't really need anything to get more push going. Although you can do... I don't know.
Dire's top tower has
I
fallen.
think 8 seconds or so for a tier 3 tower. Something like that, so... Nearly tiny tier base wrecking speeds on the Nature's Prophet. He can definitely get to a point where he can just hit through backdoor protection. Which means Gambit, if they are worried about not being able to push at a certain point, mostly because of his Tinker, they do have a solution.
Dire's top tower
They
is
do
under
have the
attack.
option to just go Desolator, go Salt Cuirass, maybe an Orchid on the Nature's Prophet, and then you got everything you need, because you can wreck towers, and if Tinker comes in, you can kill him too. Then again, that would be super greedy, so it's more of a scenario that's going to occur if Gambit finds they don't have a win condition otherwise.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Precision Aura already giving 36 damage to everyone on Gambit except
Dire's
for Bignum.
top tower is under attack.
Poor Bignum. The only non-ranged hero in his team. But I mean, as a Sand King, you don't really need right-click damage. Your right-click animation is really shitty. A bit of extra last hitting power early on might be nice, but other than that, it's not like you would get anything done with the Drow Aura or without it. Unlike, I mean, hell, even Disrupt is better at poking people.
The seeds of
Freaking Bane is better at man fighting nowadays than the Sand King when it comes to physical right clicks. Of course, Sand King got some very powerful abilities to make up for that. That is why he's still being picked so up. And you know who else got some very powerful abilities? Disrupt. He's gonna show his ultimate right there. Goes down.
Rise in my presence?
So, back to a pretty major Gambit lead we go. Thing is also, Dachak has not been killed. Double Dimension, they might have made a pretty decent-ish mini comeback, but they didn't kill the one person that could actually catapult them back into this game. Dachak, he's just continuing to farm up here. Getting more and more agility online.
and after them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Top tier 2 tower, taking a bit of chip damage. But Double Dimension, they are counter pushing. They will not just let this happen.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So it looks like the bottom tier 1 is just going to get given up here by Team Gambit. Team Gambit is dead,
Dire's top
running at
tower is
Radix.
under attack.
Radix is going to be able to get away from
Full
one.
roots and run.
Dire's
Tinker comes in to
structures are
defend his top tier 2 tower. Plus a fortification, that's actually going to be enough to
Radiant's
deter Iceberg
bottom
here, I think.
tower is under attack.
However, now he's going to go bottom to defend his own tower. So it looks like neither team getting a tower out of that tower trade. Both teams stopping their opponents from pushing in without actually being able to secure the objective they want. And I mean, that is still pretty beneficial for Double Dimension here, because they do need some time, they do need to stall a bit. At the very least, get Tinker some base items to be able to man-fight properly. And I mean, once we get to that stage where Tinker is going to spam missiles at a rate of 1 missile per second, 10 seconds on end before he has to teleport back, reset his mana pool, come back in again and spam missiles again at 1 missile a second per target. I mean, it's going to be more than 1,000 magical DPS, and because it's magical, it's kind of better. Although it is very mitigatable with a pipe. The first few times the Tinker comes into a team fight, you can't immediately have a pipe unless you're really afraid of a Tinker, unless Tinker's a really good lane, and you decide, okay guys, let's get a pipe as soon as we can. But Gambit, they don't even have a good pipe carry here actually. The only one who could carry a pipe efficiently would be the Sand King. And he's going for his Blink Dagger right now. He's got a lot of good items he can get this game in order to make himself more efficient at keeping his teammates alive and just playing bodyguard for the Drow Ranger pretty much. If we switch over to network, we're now actually going to see a significant advantage for him. Poor Team Gambit, who with this Drow aura really didn't have any hardships throughout the game until now. And Double Dimension, they gotta make sure that they get something done. Mirana completely underfed, going with Smoke Gank here to try and set up a good arrow. Tinker is coming back, Tinker is farming and bringing himself online. Getting his nice little set of core items. And although Puck is probably just dead here, Treasure Cat, not really a lot he can do to get away. Did throw out Dream Coil before going down, but that is just some space creation right there. Because Roshan is currently being shotted by the Drow Ranger.
Immortality.
So that was the bottom tier 1. Plus a kill on Puck, in exchange for a Rose plus Beams for the Drow now. I think that's definitely worth it for Team Gambit still. I mean, of course, they would rather not lose their heroes.
Middle tower has fallen.
I die.
Just as to say that they lose another hero. Sand King going down. Shadow Demon just creating an Illu army. And those Illus are pretty strong. I feel like it's one of the more underestimated abilities. People don't usually use those Illus other than for scouting. Well, the Puck on the Drow might be in a bit of trouble, just turns around, just fires at everybody inside, and Mata instead ends up going down. Now Mirana getting glimpsed back too. Like I said, Drow Ranger is a hard hero to go on with the Gust.
Keep you safe.
2, 0 and 5 with an Aegis available. Only one tier 2 tower still standing for Double Dimension. Unless they got some kind of a miracle in the next team fight, I think Double Dimension might have just lost this. I don't think they can really bring the Mirana online in time. If they just get Tinker triple kill or something like that, that would be enough to keep Double Dimension in the game and to at least allow them to try and go ahead and kill the Drow. Since Tinker is definitely one of the better heroes when it comes to suddenly nuking down a glass cannon.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And with that, there's now only the tier 3 tower standing on the side of Double Dimension. Double Dimension, they're gonna play this defensively anyway, so I don't think they're going to mind having somebody near their base much. Since Nature's Prophet, he can just say, oh look, one of the lanes is passively pushing out, I'm going to teleport in there, dump a couple of trees, and really not do anything otherwise. And still, the tower is going to take severe damage.
The seeds of fortune.
Gambit, going for a Smoke Gank now. Depending on what they find, this might just backfire really hard, or could find what they need to finish this game.
Allies disappear.
Okay, so Gambit stuck in a bit of an awkward spot. Tinker spamming away missiles. Still, though, they meant they don't fight the initiation. They would like. Tinker going to get stunned up. Disruptor will be going down, and Thrower Ranger comes on in, kills off the Tinker. In comes the Dream Coil onto 2. Rajix goes down next, and Earth Spirit going to be the last victim here, getting himself mutilated as well. Drow Aura, giving 53 damage to everyone. And if that isn't big enough of a deal for you, then just wait till Drow gets ultimate level 3.
Radiant's
Could take the level 20 talent as well, and then the aura percentage damage.
Dire's middle tower is falling.
Mata went down, Beastmaster coming in, Flow, he's looking to turn this fight, and Drow Ranger on the run. Aegis is about to be reclaimed, so the Hak, he has to watch out. Although I'm pretty sure he's just eager to start turning around and start
Dire's
killing
top
people.
tower is under attack.
Maybe if he... Okay, he's gone. So the thing is, the Hak, he decided not to take the risk of having his Aegis reclaimed there and run away. He could have definitely turned and fought that, but if he tries to turn and fight, and then all of a sudden his Aegis gets reclaimed just before he goes down, that would be really awkward, and that would be one very big way of throwing a game like this. LeBron got himself.
Catch us if you can.
Wait, he just got ult
middle
sniped.
tower is under attack.
I think he got ult sniped while trying to de-ward. That's gotta be awkward, especially because the ward did die before the ultimate killed him. Nate's Prophet. In a bit of an awkward spot there. Walking deep inside your opponent's jungle without really any cause to do so or any backup nearby might not always be the smartest move. I'm not sure if he was getting cocky there or if he just wanted to ward or de-ward or something. Nope, definitely cocky. But this Nate's Prophet, he is still pretty dangerous. He's still got a lot of right-click damage, especially with the Drow Ranger being alive and nobody being near her. I'm wondering, is the 20% precision aura damage, is that like 20% more of your agility as damage? Or is it like 20% of all damage from the precision aura gets amplified? That's actually a really important question here, since it determines how well Double Dimension can go late game here, how well they can try to just get Tinker Sheepstick, have Tinker become that bit of an anti-carry while spamming away missiles, and try to install the game until they find a spot in which they can win. Well, Undershock is going to go down there. Iceberg dying in exchange to the Shadow Demon Mata, outputting some severe damage. Shadow Demon, he's never really a hero against that important. They could have got damage out of this fight. He definitely held his own and pulled some weight. Disruptor is going to go down and the Drow Ranger will die as well. Double Dimension, they are going to fight and fight to turn this around. Rajik's still going to go down, but Drow is dead. Drow doesn't have buyback either to just re-enable Team Gambit. And without the Drow Ranger, that's the one awkward thing. All of that delicious bonus damage is gone. All of it. So all of a sudden Team Gambit, who are just so strong and so cocky and so dominant in this game, are going to be a bit careful here. Are going to have to be somewhat evasive of fights.
What have we here?
A prize.
Shock. He's saving for his Aghanim Scepter. That's going to be huge when it comes to defending the high ground, when it comes to keeping the base safe. And so far the high ground is in excellent shape. Now taking the first bit of chip damage here, really. Double Dimension, they're not completely out of this yet. They can still find some kind of miraculous team wipe and then go from that. Gambit coming in with a smoke gank. And they will find Rajix. Rajix just going to get annihilated.
Radiant's bottom tower is
That
under
Mirana
attack.
kill, the second biggest target you could have gotten. Tinker, of course, being of way greater importance, but also being so much harder to catch.
My gratitude.
Roche going to be up in a minute from now.
Warriors of the wood.
So Nature's Prophet, this time around he's not going to get punished for being cocky. I mean, if you want to push shrines, you're usually not supposed to go with yourself, you're supposed to let your trees do the work. And talk about trees doing work, they're going to intercept the creep wave here. So even if Double Dimension takes the initiative and go ahead, push some aggression, Gambit are just going to
Radiant's bottom
do their
tower
best to
is
ignore
under
it.
attack.
Kind of play around it. Not even bothering with the proper defensive setup here. Instead, Roshan, so much more interesting, so much more important. And with the Drow Aura, it's going to be a fast road once again. They don't even have armor reduction. This is a Roche without Amulet or Shoulder Crest or Detonate or whatever. This is just pure right-click damage.
Radiant's
So
bottom tower is under
I
attack.
think that puts it into proportion how hard Gambit are going to hit any hero that they might encounter.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I wonder how good their focus fire is though. Some teams have excellent focus fire. I guess it really depends on the shot caller. Low going to go down. LeBron just as dead. They did almost get that bottom tier 2 tower, so Double Dimension. If they would have gotten that tower and only lost Earth Spirit, that would have been really close. That would have actually been a fair trade. Fair objective to get. A bit of miscommunication there, resulting in the Hug suddenly being a very awkward spot. However, Mirana did just set up a kill on the Drow Ranger. So the Aegis is gone. Down to Mirana though. Mata getting Burrow Striked on as well. And Gambit.
Structures are fortified.
It looks like they're taking the game. It looks like they're just going to be able to win here. I mean, if we look at this Rax damage and this tower damage,
Dyer's middle barracks are falling.
not only that, but they catch the Tinker. Okay, that's it. That's definitely gotta be it. Nothing Double Dimension can do to defend here.
Dyer's bottom
My
tower is falling.
gratitude.
Dyer's bottom barracks are falling.
I mean, this is some pretty incredible
Dyer's
pace
bottom
for pushing
barracks
Rax.
have fallen.
Of course, compared to Tiny, it might not
Dyer's
seem
middle
that big
barracks
anymore.
have fallen.
Now the last lane going to get contested, and if these Rax fall, then it's just definitely GG. I mean,
Dyer's top tower
it's pretty much already GG unless Double Dimension somehow get a team wipe.
Dyer's top barracks have
But
fallen.
that is very, very unlikely. Still, they're going to try for it. They will get a kill on the Nature Prophet, but that's not quite a team wipe. Instead, Mirana's going to go down in exchange, buying back immediately. Double Dimension, they want to throw everything they got at Gambit here. But end up taking more and more casualties. Flow goes down. Rajix just bought back. Yeah, GG is being called. Double Dimension, they realized they couldn't win that fight, and if they had won it, it would have still probably been played. But this is the grand final, so people are going to give it their all.